Welcome guys. So today we are going to talk about what are data dictionary views in Oracle database. Okay, so let's start it. So what are data dictionary views? In Oracle, data dictionary views are special type of views that provide information about the database objects such as tables, views, indexes, users, privileges, and other metadata about the data. Okay, these views are automatically created and maintained by Oracle database and provided a way for the user and then administrators to retrieve information about the database. So these are the views created on the top of our Oracle database so that we'll manage and watch the schema and the structure of the Oracle database and what are the uh, tables, what are the different configurations in the uh, database easily. Okay, so these are views created by Oracle by its own. We need not to create them. So these are data dictionary views. So some common examples of data dictionary views are this is one of the data dictionary views all underscore tables. This displays information about all the tables in the database accessible to the current user. This shows you what only the tables which are accessible for this current user. Like if he can access his own schema and the other tables on which he has access. All indexes. This is also the same. All indexes of the database accessible to the current user. All user. This is another data dictionary view. This displays information about all the users in the database. And DB table spaces, this is uh, another data dictionary views. It displays information about all table spaces in the database. And DBA use, but these are accessible to only database administrators as it's DBA table spaces. Okay, you need to be uh, very careful or you need to check what you are trying to access. You cannot access DBA table spaces until you have DBA permissions. You can uh, here we also can have DB underscore tables, DB underscore indexes, but those are accessible to DBAs only. So you need to be very careful and see what you are trying to access. So DBA table spaces is accessible to database administrators only. Okay, so this will tell you about all the table spaces, DBA users. The same way, this is all users. This is DBA users. This is accessible to database administrators. User tab columns displays information about tables owned by the current users. If we have DBA tab columns, then it will tell you about all the columns, okay, of all the tables. So why we need the data dictionary views? So Oracle has some base tables which are owned by sys. Like once we create the Oracle database, there are many tables created about the structure and about the instance ID, about the different views which are created already. Those are owned by sys, but these tables has so many columns. If Oracle has created for its own purpose, there are a lot of tables it create while we install the Oracle database. So but we cannot easily understand those tables as the column names, and those are very much difficult to understand. So Oracle created views on the top of these tables. So on above of these tables, Oracle created some views so that we can understand the column names. We can only access the uh, information, only access the columns which are uh, easily understandable to the user. So Oracle created these data dictionary views by its own. So we can query these views to fetch data frame from these base tables for the Oracle base tables. Most of the time when we are querying Oracle data dictionary, you are just querying data dictionary views. You are not accessing the base tables of Oracle, you are accessing the data dictionary views which Oracle created for the users. So like sys tab, this is the base table of Oracle, but we do not access this table in any scenario. We access this view dba table underscore tables or all underscore tables or user underscore tables. These are the views based on the permissions of the user, all users, or database administrators. So this is the view created on the top of this base table. In Oracle 19c, there are more than 7,000 data dictionary views you can users and database administrators can access. You can get all those views by this query. Select count from DBA views where owner is equal to sys. It will show you all the views which are created, which are for which the owner is sys. Yeah, those are created by sys user. Okay, so there are some types of these. We have categorized them. So several types based on the type of information they provide. Some of commonly used data dictionary views are static views, and we have dynamic views. So static views are all views which do not change usually until we change some data in the Oracle database, and dynamic views which are changed dynamically, like every other uh, as Oracle is running, these views are changing dynamic views. Static views are related to database, and they do not change usually, like until we change it using some DDL DML statements. Okay, so all views. These views display information about the all objects in the database that are accessible to the current user. Like he can access his own schema, and he can access the schema on which he has granted access some other user's schema as well. And user views, this views display information about objects user owned by the current user only. If we have created a user, he can access only his tables, his views. So user views are those. DBA views, these are required. These are for the database administrators. This is display information about all the objects in the database regardless of who owns them. Like a DBA can access all the tables, all the views of the database. So these are the ones which are started with DBA underscore views, DB underscore tables, DB underscore columns. Those are owned by database administrators only. So these are accessible to the users who requires who has special privileges like DBA, or if we grant some DBA privilege to some other user, so that user can access these views as well. So these are the common static views, and these are dynamic views. The views which start with v dollar, so those are called this is just a naming convention so that we'll understand them easily. V dollar. So these are dynamic views that display information about the current state of the database and its components such as memory usage, IO operations, and uh, lock on the tables. So common static views are DBA tables, DBA tab columns, DBA indexes, DBA table spaces, DBA data files, DBA segments, DBA free space, DBA sys privilege, DBA tab privileges, DBA triggers. These are the some common static views. They don't like uh, we can access them. Like these can be user tables, user tab columns, user indexes, user table spaces. But user these are not. These are accessible to your database or administrators only. Table spaces and DBA data files. These are also. So these are common static views. Some common dynamic views. These views contain information about the current session, database, and transaction, which we have discussed earlier. They get updated continuously during the life cycle of the database instance. These are some common dynamic views. V dollar parameter, V dollar database, V dollar instance. This will tell us about the database instance names. V dollar session log file, and V dollar log. Okay, so these are some data addiction reviews. Okay, so let's see some of the go to the lab and see what are the database table like. Okay, so I have executed this. Let me clear the screen first. Okay, so let's see how many data dictionary views we have, which are started. uh, these are DBA views, only DBA can view them. There may be some other views as well for Oracle purpose only, but most of the views, those are DBA views. They can user DBA can access, and where owner is sys. The sys user has created the views. Okay, so these are 6,686 views. Okay, the total of views where DB views where honor is equal to sys. There may be some other views as well where honor is not sys. So, okay, so next is this is also a data dictionary views DBA tab privileges. Okay, so let's see. I'm just querying the first 5 rows. There may be a lot of tables in the database, and there are a lot of uh, users, grantors, privileges, a lot of for a single table we can have thousand of privileges for different users. So that this view will list everything. So I'm just querying first 5 rows. You need to mention fetch first 5 rows only. Okay, and set line size 130. I'm using this so that I'll get the output in a proper format. You can see my other video which will describe this to see the output in the proper format. Okay, so I'm just querying the columns. Let's see. Okay, so this is another one, uh, data dictionary reviews. You can see the grantor, the system grantee has, the grantee system, grantor is sys, who has the uh, who has assigned permissions to other users, who has created this one. Okay, so table name is, these are the table names. First I just fetched first 5 rows. There can be a lot of tables. Okay, these are the privileges. You see, use, select, read. These are the permission. There may be a lot of. This is another data dictionary view. DBSS privilege. You see, there are a lot of privileges. You can see system privileges. Like this user has a lot of uh, permissions. Okay, let me clear the screen. Okay, so this is also a permission for a role, which will tell you about the role. uh, I have described uh, role permissions on my another video. You can watch it. These are the, this is another data action review DBA users underscore users. So we can see it. You can see there are a lot of users. Okay, we have already discussed these. These are dynamic views. We have already discussed about these in my previous videos. This will tell you about the log files. Okay, what are the log files, what is the status of those log files. These are redo log files, and if we see what is the current redo log file, we'll see the group for group 1. This is the current redo log file. You can see all these details in my previous video for redo log files in my previous playlist for that. That's the our previous topic we discussed. So these are the dynamic views. These are changing every time, like after some time. This is just showing this, but after some time this will shift to, or we can shift that as well, like switch logs, and that will be shifted to this. So these are dynamic views which are getting changed all the time. This is another one, data dictionary views DBA data files. Okay, here you can see the table name, table space name, the consumed MB, the max size, everything is mentioned. and this is also dba temp free space. Okay, you see, so these are all data dictionary views. We can fetch uh, more of the data from the Oracle from these data dictionary views so that our work will be easy. Okay, so thank you, and we'll be talking in our next session. Thanks.